3 Allegiant flights down, 1 to go. Oh, another A319? Well, that is just what I wanted. Thank you, Allegiant. You shouldn't have. In all seriousness though, Allegiant absolutely carried the A319 this year. If it wasn't for the 4 flights I took with them on that same plane type each time, the A319 wouldn't have made it close to first place on my top 5 aircraft types of 2024. I guess with a streak like that, I may as well go all out on my channel and film all 4 Allegiant flights. So here I am in Las Vegas International, about to take my 4th flight this month and do my 4th trip report on an Allegiant A319. Let's fly. Hello from Las Vegas Reid Airport. I landed here at A3 on this old livery Allegiant A319 with a 3.5 hour layover ahead of me before I would connect to another one of these to Grand Forks on a separate ticket. And yeah, if you've been wondering how I've been connecting between Allegiant flights, that is exactly how I did it. Allegiant doesn't sell tickets with layovers, only non-stop ones. So the only way I was able to do this was by getting separate tickets that just happened to have lined up dates and times. I mean, when all the other airline options are about $1,000 for that week, you gotta do what you gotta do. So for my 4th Allegiant trip report, we are going to be taking flight 112 or G4112 on a nearly 3-hour journey to the tiny Grand Forks airport. Too small to have flights that length if you ask me, so you can imagine Allegiant being the only airline to ever do a route like this. So it looks like we are going to be in one of the circular concourses, gate A18. At this time, my A319 was flying in from South Bend and still had 3 hours to go. 3 hours before my plane would even get here. But I couldn't really complain, as I knew it would have been an hour longer had my previous flight not been delayed due to a mechanical issue. So I didn't go to that cramped circular A concourse right away. Instead, I went to the C gates to see some of Southwest's planes. Like here at C23, we got one of their 737-700s. Then there was a lot of the longer Dash 800s too. Here we got an 800 and a Max, both in one shot. And then there was this Dash 800 from this big window. I also got lunch in this gate area, but didn't film anything from that. Soon enough, that 800 left and was replaced with a 700. Actually, my first time seeing a 700 from this window. Fast forward more than an hour and I started making my way back to the A and B gates. You'll get Southwest, Allegiant, and Spirit planes here, like this Banana A320 at A8. Vegas Airport will get a lot of different airlines, but those are like the only 3 that will be in this terminal building. On my way there, I noticed that half of the Shake Shack seating area was closed. That was a surprise, as I had seen this area open just a few days ago. I then got another shot of the A319 that flew me here, as you can see. Because I still had quite a bit of time, I figured I'd stop by the B circular concourses, where we get to see some more Southwest jets like this 737 MAX. I have quite a few trip reports on this airline's entire fleet. From here I was able to get a great view of both the apron and the Vegas skyline, and get another angle of the A319 that flew me here. November 310 November Victor. And yeah, this was the plane that had the mechanical problem that I mentioned earlier. Its next destination was going to be Provo, Utah, and I got here just in time to watch it push back for that flight. I finally decided to make my way to the double-digit A gates, or what I otherwise call Allegiant Circular Concourse. This is where I'll be flying out, and there were quite a lot of Allegiant flights going out today, more than what I usually see, but I was at least able to get a very nice view of the Las Vegas skyline from this concourse. Here at A17 we have 331 November Victor, an A319 going to Lexington. Then at A21 we got an A320 leaving for Reno in over 6 hours, 190 November Victor. This was one of like only 2 Allegiant A320s I ever saw here in Vegas. To the right, at A22, we got 337 November Victor, an A319 going to Moline. I was on this exact plane a few days ago, on the opposite route I'm about to take. Speaking of which, today's Allegiant A319 will be 19-year-old November 306 November Victor. It just came in from its 4-hour journey from South Bend, and will be boarding to Grand Forks here at A18. This was the last of all 4 of my Allegiant A319 flights this month. If you saw my other trip reports, you may remember that I was on 337 and 309 November Victor a few days ago, and took 310 to Vegas today. 306 here will be ending it off. If you look at 306 from this angle, you'll kinda notice that it is, in fact, in the old Allegiant livery, with the Travel is Our Deal slogan on the side and less color on the tail. Both Allegiant planes I took today were in this livery, while both of the ones I took a few days ago were in the new one. Funny how it turned out that way. Anyways, I was in boarding zone 3 today, but before I got on, I came across 309 November Victor at the gate next to mine, set to go to Bentonville. This is the newest A319 in Allegiant's fleet, and was also the one I took from Vegas to Great Falls a few days ago. 2024 finale trip report. I then went back to 337 November Victor at A22 to catch it pushing back. So yeah, I thought it was really cool that I no joke spotted every single Allegiant jet that I took on this trip on both the same day and at the same airport while waiting for the same flight. 3 of the 4 in the same concourse for that matter.
Weight and balance system, everyone must sit in their assigned seat. As you get settled, please place your personal items underneath the seat in front of you and larger items in the overhead bin.
25F will be my seat for today. I didn't notice this until we boarded, but we were right next to Allegiant's Vegas Golden Knights livery A319, 302 November Victor.
Tables and make sure all carrying items are properly stowed in the seat in front of you as we prepare for takeoff. reaching altitude where approved electronic devices like laptop computers may be used. Please be reminded that federal regulations prohibit the use of cellular network services during flight, so your devices do need to stay in airplane mode. For a list of other approved electronic devices, as well as some other regulations, check out the Nonstop Life magazine in your seat back pocket. As your birthday tables are in their locked position, all carrying items properly stowed at this time. Once we're on the ground and taxiing to the gate, feel free to use your mobile phones and other handheld electronics. course, for your continued safety of those around you, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened. Make sure all carry-on items are safely stowed and now the aisle wait until the aircraft has come to the final stop at the gate.
And that ends my 4-leg A319 streak with Allegiant. You may be surprised to hear this, but this plane isn't actually gonna stay here for the night. It's gonna continue back to Vegas on the late night flight number 25, the one I took with 337 November Victor a few days earlier. That's something interesting I've noticed about Allegiant. A lot of their flights go at strange times. I don't really have anything to say about this flight that wasn't already in my other Allegiant videos. Overall, it was a decent experience, not anything worse than what I expected from a ULCC. I'm glad I managed to sleep, as I didn't really want to be awake in those seats for the entire time. And it was really cool seeing all my previous Allegiant planes in Las Vegas before boarding this final one. Final score for our flight 112 to Grand Forks and the final installment of my first Allegiant series will be 5.1 out of 10. As I've said before, this is not a bad score for an ultra low cost, and if the price is right, I would fly with Allegiant again.
Flight administrator, arrival, step by for all.